The United States government has temporarily stopped the illegal immigration applications filed by Nigerians and other new countries added to the U.S. travel ban proclamation this week. The move mainly affects immigrants who hail from certain African and Asian countries, and it further escalates a wide-ranging crackdown on legal immigration expanded by the Trump administration this month. Many of those affected by the pause are likely to be legal immigrants who are currently in the U.S. and are seeking to change their status or become citizens. Earlier in December, the Trump administration directed U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services to completely freeze all immigration petitions, including requests for American citizenship and permanent residency made by those already in the U.S. who are nationals of the 19 countries it banned or restricted travel from in June. To help us make sense of this, we're joined by a global affairs analyst, Ejike Okpa. Mr. Okpa, thank you so much for coming around.
Thank you for having me.
So the Trump administration has announced a new restrictive move on immigration. Is this approach too harsh? And could it even end up straining diplomatic relations with affected countries?
Not really. Every president comes in with their own agenda, and this agenda could be on the national interest or whatever the interest that they're pushing. What needs to happen in this case is that, since Tinubu got into office for 2 years plus, Nigeria does not have an ambassador to the U.S. And so that's a gap in communication. That's a gap in relationship building. These things don't happen overnight. Even when they happen, you reach out and say, hey, what's going on? What do we need to do differently? But one thing you have to also understand that people that came to America did not come on behalf of Nigeria. These are individuals, that came here because they wanted to come, and when they changed their status to legal residence or that of citizenship, it is an individual thing. It's not on behalf of Nigeria. It's not Nigerian government telling them. So when things like this happen, then they have to now go to their own representatives. If they are already in U.S., they can go to their House member or the Senate and say, what is going on? Why are we being singled out? But Nigeria is never proactive in things that are affected as an individual nation or even Nigerians as individuals. We react, and then when we react, we throw in all kinds of emotions into it, and then we say racism and this and that. It has nothing to do with any of those. You have to engage the community or the country you are in, and you stop acting as if you are a mercenary on behalf of the country you migrated from. I think this will, come to pass, and there will be an outcome, that is happy for everybody. But it's not a permanent situation. Politics is like a season. It comes and goes. It blows hot, it blows cold, but in all of that, life goes on.
All right. Now, with Nigerians caught up in the travel ban and tougher immigration enforcement, how bad would you say the situation is on the ground for those directly affected?
Are you talking about the Nigerians in Nigeria that wants to come?
Yeah, I'm talking about Nigerians affected, whether still residents in the U.S. as of now, or probably are trying to just access such provision.
Well, again, like I said, when they submitted, when you become, if you want to change your status from whatever, a visitor or a student to, green card, I did that. I did that in 6 months when I came, but immigration since then has changed. It used to be, the green card gives you that right of permanent residence, but now it's got an expiration date on it. So that tells you how the American people look at the law. So if you're already here and you applied and then they stopped it, then, like I said, your first port of call is to go to your congressional leader or elected official, say, hey, what's going on? Because they will tell you, they will respond to you and tell you what this is. And then if the Nigerians are here, that are here, what they can do, you formalize a group, and then you write to the president and say, we have families and this and that. We need to know what we need to do differently. It has nothing to do with the Nigerian government. All the Nigerian government could do or could have done was, the ambassador, if there was an ambassador, would get in on the media and engage the appropriate American agencies and said, hey, what do we need? What What do we have to do in order for this to be better? Again, when I came here, when I left Nigeria in the 80s, I was not coming on behalf of Nigeria or Igbo land or Africa. I came because I wanted to come. And when I came, I legalized my status. I became a green card holder. And then in 1995, I became a citizen. But, when you do this, that's why I said the individual responsibility, trumps everything. It has nothing to do with the group effect. Because, again, they don't give a group a visa to people and say, okay, we're going to give all of you a visa to come. You come on individual basis, and then you have to embrace your new country of residence and see what the laws are. I don't speak for Trump, I don't speak for the administration, but I can tell you this is going to change. It's not a permanent nail on the coffin. It leaves open the door for conversation.
Well, now let's quickly look at this twist. Now, there are claims that the ban is partly linked to Nigeria's frequent exposure of its internal challenges to the global community while seeking U.S. support. Do you think this perception influenced the decision?
All of the above listed below, because again, when you look at what's going on in Nigeria, let's look at this. Immigration is a guest invitation for you to come to my home, or you need to come to your home, and there are conditions that go with this. But if Tinubu, again, I gotta call him out on this. If Tinubu for 2.5 years or so has not appointed an ambassador to one of the most critical countries in the world, where you have more Nigerians in America than you have anywhere in the world, and the president of Nigeria hasn't sought it as something significant for him to do that, then he calls to mind what sort of leadership is he proposing. When the issue about genocide was started to bubble up, Tinubu didn't show up. He sent some of his underlings to come in here and make, show up without showing any significance. This is where the president of a country steps up and said, hey, Mr. President, can we have a conversation? I would like to come and visit, or blah, blah, blah. The president, he wouldn't going to say no. But if you don't ask, remember, for those people who believe in the Bible, if you don't ask, you don't get. That's America for you. If you don't ask, you don't get. Because they will tell you yes or no. If they tell you no, you say, why? What's the reason behind the no? When I wanted to come to America, I was denied visa 2 times. And on the second denial, I said to the consulate officer, what is wrong with my application? What do I need to do in order to get the visa? If I can meet those requirements, I'll leave you alone, you leave me alone. And he was impressed by my attitude. He said, okay, fine. If you do X, Y, Z, I give you visa. I met those requirements. On the 3rd visit, I was given a visa. We need to be asking questions. We don't make assumptions. We don't think, because we're Africans or black. This is about Nigeria. It's not an African issue. Nigeria should not dilute its significance by saying it's African. No, your name is on the line. You have to do everything to protect the sovereign right of your nation and the integrity that goes with that. And the way you do it is also reach out to Nigerians in America. Say, hey, Mr. Okpa or Mr. Tunde or Mr. Ahmed, what can you do? Is there anything you can share with us so that we can move this ball closer to the goalpost? But Nigerians don't do it. Even when you Nigerians send ambassadors to America, the ambassadors they send here have no clout. They have no relationship. All they do is go around the Nigerian communities in America, attending child naming ceremonies. You hardly see them on TV speaking about promoting the image of Nigeria or addressing concerns other people have about Nigeria. I have been here for, so I'm just telling you what is the gap.
Yeah.
The gap is both on the individual responsibility as well as a lousy government in leadership that don't know what to do to engage America. Okay,
so there's another part we need to consider even as we talk about this. Now, the Trump administration said that the recent attack on Washington, D.C. National Guards and, some spate of violent attacks in the state was what prompted the travel freeze or the travel ban, so to speak. But then there was a Cato Institute policy analysis titled Terrorism and Immigration that stated that most violent and terror-related incidents in the U.S. In recent years were actually perpetrated by Americans more than foreign nationals did. So the question would always be, is the problem around America's issues when it comes to insecurity more internal than external?
Good question, but let me ask you a question. If I come into your house and destroy you, how would you react as opposed to your own family member doing it? We are human beings. When you are a guest in somebody's house and you misbehave, it may make me want to throw you out. So people would, saying it's America. Yes, we're a violent country. We're a country, I mean, if you see the number of people that get on a daily basis in America, it will shock you. But that does not, it's not making Americans want to run to Mexico or run to Canada. So when it comes to Nigeria, the things that are going on in Nigeria is what is prompting many Nigerians want to leave. We talked about slavery, where they came in, either Africans sold their own or they were dragged out of. Today, if you were to put a boat in a papa and tell Nigerians, get on here and we're going abroad, that would be a stampede. Why is that? After slavery ended and post-independence, Nigerians are not comfortable at home. A lot of them, if you go to most of the cabinet members that serve Tinubu, a lot of them have dual citizenship. Why should that be? It's because they don't believe in the country that they are serving. Because at the shortest opportunity they have, they're going to jump. So other countries see this stuff and they're going to want to treat you. Because before somebody begin to mistreat you, they would have psychologically assessed you. And then, okay, what are your choices? What are your options? Nigerians don't have a whole lot of options because in their own country, they are not happy with what is going on. So what has to happen is everybody go back to the drawing board and look at what can we do. We have to engage your governors. There are 37 men that abuse Nigeria, the president and 36 governors, and nobody's saying anything about that. So why are you going to come to my home and tell me, oh, because your own person has committed crime here, I'm going to do it. If you do it, I'll throw you out. Those are the way people respond to things.
All right, Ejike Okpa, thank you so much for sharing your profound thoughts with us on the news.
Thank you, and next time I come to Nigeria, I'm wrestling you for that suit.
No problem. I'll gladly oblige.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Bye.
Definitely. Thank you.